right. Welcome back, everyone, to Total Nonstop Impact Talk for Impact fans. Right here. It's late on a Saturday night. I guess that makes it all right. And we got
Which is
Bill in the
fitting,
house.
J-Bone. Coming off the Minnesota. We're in Minnesota right now with TNA. So a little Prince.
Little Prince tribute. There you go. So how you doing? How is your weekend going, Bill?
It's going good, J-Bone. A little bit of a wrestling break for the most part, which is not the usual. So no, it's good. It's good right now. It's good. It's been a busy few weeks, obviously, with heading out to Minnesota for the live show and the tapings, and then also doing a lot of wrestling here in Philly, which one of the main news stories, obviously, we're covering here right now, kind of had a little bit of an impact with that. So it feels like a perfect time to do a TNI news breakdown discussing that. And we have pretty much comments from a lot of the different parties involved, which once again, we'll go over journalism 101 again and how people will take just a comment made, run with it as it's the gospel of something. And that seemed to be the case here. Not that we know all the details, but we'll definitely put in our thoughts on what it probably sounds like happened here. Then also I got a big update on Postbound for Glory tapings. Question mark? Because I know that's also a hot topic among the TNI faithful and the TNA faithful out there. So,
well, I know they made a date in November.
Yes. Well, they announced it, and we might do a lot of share screen-a-rooneying tonight, J-Bone. Because I'll shoot you a bunch of links as we go. Let me see if I can get the actual TNA message when they did this. This was last Thursday, before the day before the live show, I think. Where they announced the return to El Paso as well as Orlando.
Yes.
All right, so here we go. Let me send you this first link. So
sure,
checking our private chat, and I will get you these one at a time. We'll do this one first. So if you want to bring that up, we will then discuss.
And while we're waiting for links to come up here, just want to remind everybody, smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications. Okay, so this is Twitter based, and in sports trending is Big Bill. Is that you? Is that you, bro?
Am I? Well, I don't know him as Big Bill. I know him as this guy right here.
Oh, okay. All right. Hang on.
Good old W. Morrissey.
You're right.
Could have been a main eventer if staying at TNA at that time that he was here when he left. I think he was on that trajectory.
He was. He absolutely was. He was killing it. And we're look, no matter where he is, I'm insanely proud of that guy for everything he has accomplished post, downward. We'll just say downward spiral,
Yeah. And I know that's kind of the angle they're doing right now with that.
Yeah.
But because that's the building where that happened. I was there for that as well, the downward spiral.
Exactly. Yes, you were.
But as J-Bone just did a share screen-a-rooney here. So this was announced, September 5th. So, yeah, the day before the live Minnesota show. So what it said was breaking. TNA Wrestling will be rounding out 2025 with visits to Orlando from November 13th through the 15th and El Paso from December 5th through the 7th. Stay tuned for more details and ticket information. So obviously the big news here is they're saying, well, this is the rest of the year, post-Bound for
Right.
Glory, which is in Lowell, Massachusetts. And the big news with these are they're 3-day tapings, not the
Oh,
now
yeah.
accustomed 2-day tapings. So probably a live show or special and then 2 days of tapings, which I know a lot
There
of
you
people
go.
are like, oh, that is maybe no best of end of year specials. Very well could be the case here. So that's some news there that we didn't. I
Okay.
obviously, due to my schedule, I was on the show to talk about. But I
Yeah.
know everyone was then asking, well, how about after Bound for Glory? Because right now, the next date on the books is November 13th, which, if you do the math, that's pretty much 1 month after Bound for Glory. So, what is going on in that 1 month span is the question.
Oh.
I was also wondering it myself. What is that? So, we're going to go from Bound for Glory and then what? I'm here. Multiple sources are telling me there are no post Bound for Glory tapings. Like
Oh.
the now, and I remember when they first came out that the Bound for the live the big four, we'll call it.
Okay.
They were testing the live impacts after those shows, and that's been the case through this year. Not that because they have done a live, they've done one or two lives. Obviously, they just did Minnesota, and they did Full Sail previously with no show before it, like not coming off a pay-per-view. So it's not a
Mm.
guarantee, but it was never a guarantee that there would always be a live episode after a major big four, because obviously it's a lot of work to do those. A lot, and you know how busy TNA's been. Obviously, still working on the TV deal or streaming, whatever it's going to wind up being. But that's not going to be the case for After Bound for Glory. I can't tell you exactly what it's going to be. There is stuff in the can. Like, we know they've taped some other content match wise, but who knows? You could see a special. Like, you could see, remember Wrestle House? Like, things like
Mm.
this. They could be doing something that we're not aware of, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be now obviously things can always change, but from where it sounds now, there's not going to be like another date added to the calendar, if you will.
Okay.
That is the
I,
rest of the dates for
all right.
events.
I tell you
So
what.
what
I
that
don't.
comes to be, unknown what that's going to be, but knowing TNA, that, well, they definitely have something up their sleeve right now.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I trust them. It's they're not just going to be like, oh, sorry, nothing's going on. No, I'm sure something's going to
Oh yeah,
happen.
no, there's something they're planning, that like they're obviously planning to air stuff. Now, what it is, don't know. It could go, obviously, I would just be speculation. But I'm sure, and like I said, I do know there's definitely matches taped for content, but
Yeah.
knowing exactly what they're going to show and how they're going to show it, that's to be determined. And we'll see. They might let out that information. I'm sure more will be known before Bound for Glory,
Oh, sure.
because they'll
And
tease something. I'm imagining.
yeah, and like they did after Slammiversary, they had that special.
Yeah,
Um,
and that could be parts of it too. Like, you could be something for people on the TNA Plus, depending on the tier. There could be access to content. But if you're looking for like the weekly show, what content that will be, once again will be determined, because I know there is a good amount of stuff in the can, but then they could intersperse that with anything else. Like, they may go, or for all we know, they're working on additional content. Like, right now, we don't even know about it. TNA has always been able to surprise, no matter who's in charge of it. Where
yeah.
I still remember I was at that series where they were going for Bound for Glory to determine a new champion. The one that EC3 eventually won, and it was a bunch of matches out of order that nobody knew what they were doing over a summer in Florida. Uh, it wound up becoming something totally different on TV. So once
Yeah.
again, what it is, undetermined. But that those are the last taping dates for TNA. Not to say they might maybe co-do something with somebody. That's always a possibility. But you do
Yeah.
have, as mentioned here, like there are holidays and all near the end of the year, but obviously this affects those that roughly month of TV in between. So we'll see what winds up
Right.
happening.
Yeah. So I see Antonio Baker in the chat says I'm 47 years old today. Well, happy birthday,
Happy
Antonio.
birthday! Always
Very cool.
always glad to see the birthdays happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Um,
It's a
and
joyous time.
Antonio also says y'all heard about Andrade being released by the WWE. We're gonna get into that in a little bit. We're gonna. I
Yeah,
did notice that. I
La
figured
Sombra.
that. Yeah, let's Sombra. Uh, we'll talk about it. There's a few different topics on the
Where's Trick
docket
Williams?
for tonight. Where's what?
You said let's talk about it.
Yeah, where's Trick and A? Oh, speaking of Trick and A, you're gonna see some new merch sported by yours truly on
J-Bone?
this next Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Only a few days away at this point.
we'll just say that the Bone Man made some custom TNI stuff. So
Oh, we like it.
yeah, very very excited about showing that off. Hopefully we'll start a trend, a TNI trend.
So, J-Bone, you want to get into the next story, if you will?
Yeah, you want to talk about Andrade or you want to talk about something
Well,
else?
whatever way. Do you want to? Yeah. We'll go with Andrade, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of
Sure.
the big story because we don't want to bury the lead too much.
Oh no,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
so
Um,
let's take off our share screen of Rooney, and we'll get into Andrade talk.
yeah. So, um, I don't know all the details. All I know is that it was reported, and I want to say and confirmed. So this isn't just we're just spitting stuff into the wind here. It was confirmed. Andrade, his we'll just say his profile was moved to the alumni section WWE.com. So he is no longer with the company.
Yeah, I don't think it's clear right now if it was a situation of a contract running out, if he was released, if he requested a release. I don't think any of that's known, but it definitely doesn't seem like he was maybe satisfied with his current spot over there.
Yeah.
So like that seemed evident. But does that mean that he wanted to get out? Does that mean they pushed him out or he pushed himself out?
I don't
To
know.
be debated. Because obviously what they just did another show with AAA. So you would think like every situation to get him maybe involved in something and it wasn't. So
Right. And look, people are going to get booked how they're going to get booked, and we can either watch it and enjoy it for what it is, or we can talk about it and say, "Hey, this ain't really our cup of tea. Why is this going on like this?" Excuse me. And what I'm talking about, Bill, is, and I mentioned this right before we went live. So lately, we've been seeing Andrade in a tag team with Ray Phoenix,
mhm.
and that's good and all. But I'm sorry, if me being a huge Penta fan and a huge Ray Phoenix fan, I want to, if I want to see either of those tagging, I want to see it with each other. And I'm sure, look,
I do get that, but I think they may have been even surprised at how over Penta became once he arrived. And I don't think they
yeah,
wanted to put him in a tag team at this time. So I think
no,
that's the issue there with putting them
and that's
together
fine.
yet.
But I still would have put them together, you know, it, like as a tag team, and you can have them wrestle separately for crying out loud. You can have Ray Phoenix go for, like we saw, the United States Championship Open Challenge. You can have Penta go for the Intercontinental whatever championship. Um, you got options. I'm surprised they put them on different shows, but whatever. It's, and that was kind of a timing thing, I think. But
And that
well,
is
look,
another
not
thing that, yeah, the whole brand split.
yeah. So, but nonetheless, I I'm I am surprised Andrade is done with the WWE. It feels like he's barely been with them a year, you know. And I know there was issues behind the scenes
Yeah, it does feel
regarding
like he's got out there or just
his
returned.
divorce, you know, um, with Charlotte. And I'm not gonna try to pretend like I know how things were behind the scenes with that going on. I don't know. You know, maybe it was civil, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think none of that's come to the light of day. Maybe Charlotte's put some of that out in interviews and I just haven't heard it. I don't know. So there's a lot of different things floating around that it could be this, it could be that. And we're not here to say, oh, this is the reason for this and that and the other thing, whatever. The be all end all with this is, of course, what TNA fans, of course, are probably wondering if there's a possibility for Andrade to join TNA in the long run. I think there's a darn good chance because, I mean, even though there is the partnership, I think there's a much better chance of him joining TNA than going back to AEW. I'm just saying, because that did not go too hot.
Yeah, it would
What
seem
do you think?
crazy for him just to go back to AEW because, yeah, it didn't seem like it ended well in AEW last time. So for him to go back there doesn't feel like it makes the most sense. But if I'm TNA, I would have interest. Like his body of work, his historical body of work is one that I think should interest them. Obviously, if the contract and all could be worked out, I think he could definitely add something. And they don't really, not that he's a luchador, but he has still, I think, a big following. And you are looking for
Oh
someone. And
yeah.
it is interesting that we're just talking about this now because I heard, I didn't see it live, but the Aztec Warriors were mentioned as still being a TNA team, which we haven't seen, obviously, Laredo or Octagon Jr. in some time. So maybe there
This
is
is
a
true.
follow up in TNA to come that just got backburnered. So that would be, if they
Yeah.
could build up that, because that's one thing they are kind of missing right now. Like they don't really have anybody like other than just obviously wrestlers that can really appeal to the market there. But to have some more, like, because they've done a good job, like a little bit of a UK, European, British invasion coming over, but they haven't really saw as much because we keep looking and we saw it with Black Taurus and Laredo in the past, not
Oh yeah.
capitalizing as much on the luchadors and wrestlers from Mexico that you would imagine they could, um, like they did before with obviously the Lucha Bros. So I think that would be something smart to go down again.
Yeah, and they, TNA did have the partnership. I say partnership, with AAA before the big falling out with Scott D'Amore. Um, so I think that was something that had something to do with that. Um, you got new people coming in, and I think some of that went by the wayside. And what do you know? Within the next year, WWE buys AAA.
Mm.
And I have no idea what kind of relationship CMLL has with Andrade. Because some of these guys have a very distinct history with one or the other.
Yeah. Although
Um,
that's kind of changed over the years in Mexico because like a
yeah,
lot of people you associated with AAA are now really with CML, but it's more, you're right, like the whole connection, like WWE, AAA. And it's kind of
yeah,
like CMLL is with AEW, New Japan, that like that's kind of where the lines are being drawn right now. So a lot
yeah,
of it depends probably on what Andrade wants to do going forward. Like if he's like, hey, I still want to have that option with WWE, maybe in some capacity, or through NXT via TNA. That could be something interesting, and
yeah,
AAA, that could be something. But if he doesn't want that, then obviously, but once again, does he want to go back? Because I
yeah,
don't know how many people really you've seen leave there and come back again. I'm not sure how that would even work out.
yeah.
But I see here Norris mentioning. I would like to see Andrade win the international title. And that
Oh,
brings up something interesting. There was just a recent interview with Steve Macklin, who is pushing with President Carlos Silva to make this title actually international and go to other countries and defend the belt, the international title. So that's
kind
just
of
an
like
interesting aspect that like actually make it international. Like how I remember what was it, Drew Galloway when he was doing the world title around the country just to give it more prestige and more meaning, the main
okay,
belt. But that international, if you really want to build that as maybe your obviously the X Division belt is always there with option C, but really
yeah,
elevate that title, which I think Macklin's done a great job of doing, making it more international, have them do like a run in the UK, a run in Mexico.
yes.
I think that would be great. Man, if Macklin can get over to Japan, come on. Like that would be fantastic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if it's oh, I'm trying to think who's. So you got New Japan tied up with AEW. Uh, TNA has had a relationship with what, Noah before.
They've had, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure of the
Um,
current status. Obviously, Eddie Edwards won a belt over there during that
he
relationship.
did. He was their world champ for a while. He did a tour over there or whatever he did. Yeah, it was it's a little while ago, but yeah. Um, but yeah, that'd be great. And I think the timing would be perfect, honestly, for that. You figure Andrade's going to have a 3 month. We're going to have to wait 3 months, or maybe we won't because we still don't know all the details of this. I don't think, but
Hmm.
I hate assuming, but especially in the world of wrestling. But I'd like to assume he's got to wait 90 days, 3 months, 90
Yes.
days, whatever. So the timing, if there is going to be some kind of new TV deal for TNA to like actually kick off 2026, which is, they can announce it at Bound for Glory ish, but then in all reality, it's not going to start until next year
Hmm.
because that's just how stuff goes, you know.
Yeah, yeah. No matter
Um,
what, whatever deal may or may not happen, it wouldn't happen until next year, for sure.
yeah.
And just following up, I see our good friend Bell's Boy in the chat.
So
Apparently,
Bell's
it was
boy.
supposed to be Andrade and Ray Phoenix versus the Wide Six at Clash in Paris, but Andrade ghosted the WWE for weeks before he was let go today. So
Is
once
that
again,
what it
that
was? Okay.
so that
Yeah,
could
and
definitely be something there, more to it. Also something to be aware of, but obviously, on the TNI show here, uh, if there's previous issues or something like that, it's the wrestling business. If it's good for business, there's always options. So
Oh, sure.
you can always like kind of, if it makes sense for you to work with somebody at a particular time, it can always happen no matter what happens somewhere else, honestly.
Yeah.
So, but now something to keep in mind, no doubt.
So yeah, and that could have been out of frustration. We got to wait for more stuff to come out. But yeah, that could be it. That could be it. I'm not saying you're wrong, Bells Boy. I'm not. Please don't take it as me saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that that's probably part of the story, and I'm sure more is going to come out in the days and weeks to come. So, but nonetheless, all in all, I hope. I think debuting Andrade or La Sombre or whatever, you know, the artist
I'd be down for it. I'd be down
the
for
artist formerly known as whatever.
La Sombra.
Yes. So, okay. Next, what do we got on the docket here?
Well, we'll get into our cover here. The big story result that kind of came out from Uncle Dave.
Oh, good
Him,
old
the
oh
journalistic
boy,
integrity of Uncle Dave,
oh
and
boy.
the Wrestling Observer, about like pretty much stating facts that in his mind were there, because he read a transcript of part of an interview with Moose and
Okay.
did the old jump to conclusions model.
All
So
right.
it kind of everybody kind of pulled what he said on the show on I guess Wrestling Observer Live, what he said, and then a lot of aggregates started putting that out there, and pretty much the gist of it, and you'll see, like, because so pretty much what he was putting out there is TNA talent is not allowed to work with Scott D'Amore's Maple Leaf Wrestling shows,
Okay.
even though they want to. The reason is, and then he gave his reasoning on why, that TNA management considers AEW as the enemy, and D'Amore is allowed to book AEW talent. So, and then he further added on, this is no way a decision anyone made by TNA who cared about talent, who cares about talent. It's controlled. It's TNA being controlled by WWE. So he did a whole lot of jumping to do this.
Jeez Louise.
So almost immediately as this starts making the rounds, TNA officials, but then everybody starts kind of jumping on it. The first one I believe that did jump in there was what you just share screened here. David Clevenger, who's a senior VP at Anthem Sports.
Okay. Thank you for making that reference because I had no clue who this was. Thank you.
Yeah. So his immediate response was, "None of this is true, by the way."
Good.
And then
Good.
I believe not long after that was obviously one of our favorites, President Carlos Silva, the man with the hat, and he chimed in not long after, and I'm just see if I can get his. Like I'm kind of going through the chain, but he pretty much confirmed the same thing, because then some other dirt sheets had reached out. I think Sap and some others, hey, Carlos Silva, will you comment on this? And he confirmed, not true, not true.
Okay.
Scott D'Amore came out, not true. Tommy Dreamer comes out, not true.
Okay.
But then you're like, but let's go over what Moose said, because I think that's what. That's where Uncle Dave kind of like was trying to double down on it. Was like, well, just look what the guy says, because obviously he did not check this. He just ran with, once again, transcript of what Moose said regarding this, and I want to make sure to give it. I don't want to misquote Moose on this. So give me 1 second here, J-Bone, just to
Sure.
get his actual words here. Here. 1 sec. Just pulling up that. I'll go back
Thank
to
you,
the original
Norris.
story.
Norris says Dave has no connection to TNA. Mike Johnson is the only one I trust for TNA news, and you guys. Thank you.
Oh yeah,
And
pretty much.
I by no means put myself in their league. It's just that
Mhm.
when we do have stories to talk about, we do our absolute best to either confirm sources that we know personally, that we hear through our own grapevine of people we trust, you know who are part of TNA or the very close circle of that,
Yes.
or stuff that's just legit already been confirmed through TNA
Yeah.
themselves. So yeah.
Yeah. So here's the actual quote from Moose. Okay. I talk to
Okay.
him referencing Scott D'Amore at least once every other week, maybe once a month. He's doing
Okay.
great. He has a new Fed, Maple Leaf Pro. They're doing awesome. I wish I could work for them, but you know how business is with the whole TNA. They have a relationship with with AEW. We're in competition with AEW, so you know how that whole nonsense goes. That's what Moose said. Moose did not say like, and how do I take that? This is just, once again, I'm not doing
Yeah.
an Uncle Dave here. This is one Bill's opinion.
Okay.
They book a lot of AEW wrestlers on that show on Maple Leaf. What do I know about how AEW treats the booking of their wrestlers on independent shows? They almost can never take losses.
Yeah.
Now, TNA, sometimes they're detriment in the past, and I know other people are now in charge of handling those bookings.
Right.
You could go to an indie show and someone from TNA may lose to your local guy that's the champion at an indie. That does happen.
Yeah.
However, something that would happen, and I was at one in New Jersey when Josh Alexander was world champion, and he went to a draw with an AEW wrestler that was brand
Okay.
new to the company and went to a draw. Our world champion. I'm like, you can't have that.
Yeah.
Like, but that's the best you get with the booking of them. So I'm thinking this was probably during Moose's X Division title run that he couldn't do bookings there because he can't lose if he's the X Division champion.
Yeah.
Or just because of how they're using. Remember, he went off of the X Division run and was the number one challenger to Trick Williams.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful with your booking. And like I said, AEW, the way they do it, and I think that can offend a lot of promotions, like indie promotions out there. If you're like, my guys can never lose, it's got to make sense.
Oh
So
yeah.
once again, I think that plays a part in it. And also, a lot of these Maple Leaf dates have coincided with TNA dates. That's another
Yeah.
reason you can't work the shows. But once again, like Santino was out there, like, and a lot of people that are no longer in TNA have worked previous shows. Josh Alexander, Mike Bailey, Ace Austin. So so pretty much, once again, Moose said something because Scott D'Amore helped train him. He's a friend. So he's like, I want to help him out when I can. But with
Yeah.
there is a lot of AEW there. So it does make it a
Yeah.
little tough. And especially when they have all these guys being used in storylines that are not only TNA, but WWE/NXT. So
Right.
booking is not the easiest thing in the world to do.
Right.
But obviously, with all this coming out, once again, you took that comment and ran with an agenda. It's not journalism. You didn't try to verify it with any other sources.
Right.
All the sources you would go verify with blew it up in your face immediately. So please,
Crazy.
before you donate any of your hard-earned money to those type of sources, think twice.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I'm glad this came out. It debunks that, and like you said about what Moose said, it just, it's just because there are relationships in the business that do make it tough. It doesn't mean there's a straight up rule. You know.
No, I think if they're really looking at it now, like I said, at times they didn't look at it, like during like when Elgin was in TNA, like he was doing some stuff that shouldn't be done on the when Brian Cage was world champion. Like these guys were taking L's and stuff. Like when you got to protect your champions,
Right.
if they're bringing their, especially if they're bringing their belts to an indie promotion. But yeah, like it's one of those things where that's the business. And hey, and if you want to be running your guys and only offer them out if you just protect them so heavily, that's fine. That can be your prerogative. But then it has to also be TNA or any other promotion's prerogative. If they're doing that, they might have to hold you back on some shows.
Yeah.
Or say, what's the plan? Because that's if you're a TV product, you better be asking what's the plan for something that a lot of people could have their eyes on.
Yeah.
So at times you might have to say no. Now that's not a ban or saying you can't work there. It's you can't do that angle, which I think is more what's going on here. Or once again, just it couldn't be done via logistics with dates or things like that. Or we need you to promote stuff that same weekend for a press tour of an upcoming city, which Moose, as the face of the franchise, does. Like him, the Hardys, Joe Hendry, Macklin, they're out there promoting these shows weeks in advance. So that's another issue. Like, so once again, it was a comment there, an innocent comment by Moose about, yeah, I want to help him out when I can, but it hasn't been able to happen. But I think it's just, it definitely lines with, well, it also has to be booked the right way. Because he probably wants to use Moose and put him in a dream match with somebody. But unless it's a non-contracted worker to another company or a fellow TNA wrestler, it's going to be tough to book. That was the whole issue years ago with Ring of Honor and New Japan. Like dream matches galore, but you couldn't do them because nobody wanted to lose. That's the trouble with working with other promotions. And you even see it. I'm sure there's some people in our chat right now with the NXT TNA relationship that when you partner with other promotions, somebody's got to lose eventually. And that's what happens. So you try to trade them off, make it make sense. And that's the whole thing. Make it make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Like when I heard, now I didn't see the whole segment, but I saw that DIY attacked Trick Williams. And so, even though in my heart of hearts as a TNA fan, even though Trick is, for the enemy, because he's not a part of TNA.
Well,
but he is our
not
champ.
He's not a contracted TNA employee.
Right.
Roster member.
Right. He's just our champ right now.
But he's embraced TNA though. He has.
He absolutely has.
I always want to give the caveat in seeing him and what he does on loops, the softball game. He embraces being part of that locker room. Like I know there were some recent images from like inside the locker room, I think with like maybe like a prayer before they went live, and he's right in the center of all that. It's just like I said, I think he is embraced by that locker room.
Yeah. He's
putting in the work. He's putting in the work. He's not mailing it in at all.
He's killing it. He's absolutely killing it, which is why it's fun to boo him. Absolutely. Because we're supposed to boo him. It's fun to. But when he comes out and it's all that Trick, dude, I'm sorry if I'm in the audience, I'm gonna belt that out as loud as I possibly freaking can because shit, man, it's fun.
And like I said, that's why I know that wasn't the majority opinion. But the way he won and maintained at Slammiversary, I think that was perfect booking.
Right? Yeah,
You don't
it's
need the feel
it's
good moment.
okay.
I'll say it a million times. It's a nice moment. Oh, I win in New York. I win in my hometown. And guess
Right,
what? A week later, nobody remembers it.
right.
And Trick
It's
would be gone. JC
right.
Jane, where are you? Oh, guess what? She's gone now.
She is. We saw her crew like the next episode, but now they're gone too.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, no, well, my point of all this is, so he's tagging with his old buddy, Mello.
Yes, Carmelo's back.
And I'm like, well, that's interesting because Mello was, with the Miz on the main roster, and now I guess that's not happening anymore. Whatever, okay. And they brought him back, and so now they got DIY against Trick and Mello, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna root for Trick and Mello. Hell yeah, because
TNA.
DIY, because he's the TNA champ, exactly. Yeah. So do I want to see a one-on-one before the time is done between Trick Williams and say Tommaso Ciampa, one of Milwaukee's finest? Hell yeah, I want to see that.
There you
But
go.
is it going to happen before the end of Trick's run? Probably not. Who knows? Maybe it'll happen somewhere down the line. But
Yeah, something to pay attention to, and that once again that does add a layer. And I know there's definitely a stronghold of TNA fans that are like, well, I don't care. I like that. I'm not watching that. So, and I get it, and I definitely get it. But you got to look at that. You got to look at where the company's coming from, and once again, the eyeballs, the attention that's getting the company in that relationship. Like that's what you want. Yeah, today is not Thursday. It's
what
Saturday.
is go? It is. It's Saturday night. Saturday night.
And it's all right for talking TNA news updates.
That's right. I guess that makes it all right. All right. So anything else you want? I kind of just let you
Yeah.
pick whatever we're
Yeah,
talking
no,
about
those were the
because
main ones. I know we talked about obviously news that came out today, obviously with Andrade. Definitely want to touch on this big dust up, but I think it answered itself in the end. That it was a non-story really, but people with agendas are always going to agenda, and that's what we saw.
oh yeah,
But yeah, so that, and then obviously to keep paying attention on what happens post Bound for Glory, but it's going to be something new because we know the schedule the rest of the year. So we know from Bound for Glory, then it's not going to be till the return to Full Sail in November. So what that is, I think it's going to be interesting what it is. I think it'll be something. They're going to do something different, but I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be.
okay.
But other than that, J-Bone, yeah, I was obviously busy in Minnesota. I did get to go to the Mall of America, the site of
Oh,
the WCW Nitro show. And so
nice.
happened that there was a wrestling show. What First Wrestling was going to have a show that Saturday. No, that's Saturday. But I was flying
Okay.
back, so I didn't get to go to that. But the ring was already set up, and I actually saw a tag team kind of working through a match when I just happened to be there in the middle of the afternoon.
Oh
So I
wow,
actually saw wrestling at the Mall of America. So
that's pretty cool.
that's pretty cool. And I did. If I go into Minnesota, I'm like, if there's one food I got to get, a
Oh,
Juicy Lucy cheeseburger, and I did. Do you know what a Juicy Lucy is, J-Bone?
I no, I'm Midwest through and through, but I've never heard of
It
that.
doesn't make
No,
its way from Minnesota down to Wisconsin or
no,
West,
no,
but
no. We
it's
don't.
a so instead of the burger having cheese on top, it's in the middle. It's cooked inside the cheese, so it's like
Oh,
molten cheese lava.
oh wow. Okay. Well, like we have, there's a brand of pizza burgers, and I think they're made in Wisconsin. And like there's pizza seasoning in the burger, and inside of the patty there's mozzarella, and they're frozen. You can like bring them home and you can fry them up, whatever. But no, I never seen any place do that around here. That's interesting.
Yeah, so I had to try it. It was good. It was good. Uh, I went to Matt's, who I believe is supposedly the ones that invented it, Matt's Bar. So I got that, and I had that right before one of the nights at of TNA. So that was good. And then
Nice,
obviously, speaking of food, you had one of our favorite knockouts, ODB, with our food truck, and the food always good at ODB. You can get the cup in different sizes. Always got to go with the double
nice.
D cup of the meat. Uh, so
Bill.
hey, that's how you order it, J Bud.
No, it's
Bam.
if, if that's how she puts it on her menu, then by all means, that's awesome. That's hilarious. How is ODB doing?
She's looking good, looking good. The truck looked good, looked busy. So no, and she did she posted some stuff on her socials. You could see with a lot of the members of the roster, and she actually was even inside the venue at one point. So always good to see ODB.
Nice. That's great.
TNA
That
legend.
is great. I know TNA really helped her out a lot when her first truck, when she was
Yeah,
really starting to get her business going, her first truck tragically burned to the ground.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's great that she she got a second chance with her biz. They gave her some time. They helped her out with that, and then she found someone to love in her life and became Mr. ODB. We'll just say it like that, so yeah, I'm so happy for her. That's awesome. Um, I'm just where was it? I saw here. Oh, here, doctor's got a question for you. You coming out to
Oh, the
Cannonball
Cannibal.
Fest?
I would like to. I believe is that tomorrow? Um, I'm because I did see that and I was interested in doing it, but yeah, I'll actually be at the. I have a scheduled conflict. I probably would have been there, but I will be at the Phillies game tomorrow. Uh, and after today, the magic numbers won for the Phillies. So hopefully they wrap up the NL East when I'm there tomorrow afternoon. So
Oh,
that
there
is
you
where I
go.
will be. But I've seen Jeff Cannonball wrestle a ton over the years, big on the death match scene. And I know he's now battling ALS, and that's what
Hmm.
this event's for. So definitely, if you can, attend, donate, do what you can.
Yeah,
Great guy. Uh, definitely wish him all the best, and hope that event goes off great. I know a lot of top talents there. I believe Santana from TNA. Dr. Gerbs could
nice,
probably say it better than me. But I know there's definitely support from the company there too. So
cool.
yeah, we're wishing everyone the best. Hopefully a great event there tomorrow.
There you go. All right.
And yeah, and then for our other fights, I see Bell's boy gonna watch the big boxing match tonight.
Oh, is that
Canelo Alvarez versus
tonight?
Terrence
Oh, okay.
Crawford. So
And I
yeah,
have no
anyone
clue who
checking that out,
those.
enjoy.
Are those like the top names right now? I
They're
have
the
no
top.
clue.
It's the modern version of Floyd and Manny. Like
Oh,
that's the
okay.
dream match that could be there. Crawford, I believe, still undefeated. Canelo just has losses to some of the top guys from years ago. But
That's
I
on
think a lot
Netflix,
of
isn't it?
is this one on Netflix?
I think so.
I don't know.
I know.
I've seen them both fight a few times. I've probably seen more Alvarez fights over the years than Crawford. Oh, that's a tough one, man. That could go to distance. That could go decision. And if it goes
Because
decision,
WWE's been promoting that a lot.
okay, they have. That's a tough one. I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that.
Okay.
If I have to, I'm gonna say Alvarez. I'm gonna say Alvarez squeaks it out, split decision. I'll go.
Ooh. Mayor says it is. Okay. Thanks, Dr. Gerbs. He says the lineup is in where our inbox is. Okay. Cool.
All right, sounds good.
Fights on Netflix, co-promoted by TKO, WWE, and UFC. Well, who knows? Maybe someone will get body slammed and I'll tune in or something. Oh, Sugar Ray Leonard versus Hitman Hearns. I saw that one live. I
Yeah,
don't mean
just
like I was there, but I saw the
oh yeah.
pay-per-view. That's a
I
classic.
remember, man, like growing up watching a lot of the fights growing up, like Macho Camacho and all that stuff growing up. But then and then obviously the big fights here and there. But no, that I always like a good big fight night.
Yeah.
But just to follow up on the Cannonball Fest, just looking at the card right now, Matt Tremont versus Mike Bailey, Tony Deppen versus
Oh.
Willow Nightingale, Mike Santana versus Bear Bronson, the Incoherent Legion
Oh.
of Rot, which is Ultraman is Black, Delirious, O'Brien, Kodama, Frightmare, and Hollow Wicked versus Tara Calloway, Wheeler Yuta, Matt Mako. I guess Matt Mikowski is now Matt Mako everywhere. Tracy Williams, Hot Sauce, Cheeseburger, and LSG. Joey Janela versus Megan Dane. Awkward versus Megan Dane. GCW Workhorses, Marcus Mathers, Masha Slamovich, Man Like the Reese, and Jordan Oliver versus
Oh.
JPW Worldwide. Arcadia, Azriel, Eric Corbis, and Dan Barry. And Crowbar also on the show. So
Okay.
very solid card.
All right. Yeah. It's definitely some familiar names in there. So it sounds fun.
Yeah, and then there's the records for the boxing. Canelo 61, 3-2, and Crawford is 41-0 with 31 knockouts. And I think
Oh.
I've seen Canelo's 3 losses. Well, I've seen at least 2 of those losses and maybe one of the draws.
Okay. Interesting. Very. Now, is there someone who is champ, or is this just like considered a dream match?
I think there's titles on the line, but I'll tell you that the followed titles there, sometimes we say there's too many titles in wrestling. Boxing may be the worst because there's so many belts in boxing in the same weight classes. It's crazy.
Oh yeah,
Like some guys,
because
they'll carry her. Like sometimes, I think there's old footage of like Triple H with some of these boxing matches. There's like 10 belts.
holy crap!
They all think they're Mercedes Monet, who all thinks they're Ultimo Guerrero.
Nice. There you go.
Or Ultimo
All
Dragon.
right.
Not Ultimo Guerrero. Got the wrong Ultima. Talking Ultimos too much.
So yeah, so that's gonna do it for our show for tonight.
Yes.
Go check out the fight on Netflix, and I like a good boxing match. We'll see. We'll see.
There you go. It's for the
I,
super
I, I,
middleweight.
I
165,
barely
69. What is this? Junior high?
super middleweight title. God, that's
Oh,
100
you got
pounds
all the
less
weights. You
than
got the
me.
bantam weights, the heavy weights. There's a lot of weight classes.
That's crazy. I'm just glad I saw Tyson one more time.
There you go. Who knows? Knowing Mike, he's gonna come do it again because he doesn't let up, that Mike.
Only if he shows off his ass. That's all I'm here for. I'm just kidding.
There you go. There you go.
All right, that's going to do it. Hope everyone enjoys the rest of your weekend. Stay safe. We will see you next week. Make sure you're on your way out. Smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications. Why? So that you know when more of our content hits your screen. Say goodnight, Bill.
Good night, everybody.